What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Breakdown on CHH. It's your boy Young Rev, alongside MCK, alongside Christina Noel, alongside Zav. At least that's what he wants his name to be on this episode.
Why did I get a normal intro, man? What are you just saying for yourself? Pretty cool, man.
So, guys, that probably might have been the only joke that we're going to say tonight, because the truth of the matter is tonight or today or whenever you're watching this, because it's recorded, it's going to be some serious business, because we brought to you our personal list over the last two episodes, but now we are here bringing the list, the actual list. This is the most credible list right now on CHH, on the whole internet, and I could bet my bottom dollar it is.
Claim, boy.
Yeah, that's very strong. Maybe, but this is very. We took all of our personal biases out of this, and we tried to compile a top 10. Not we tried to, we did. This is a legitimate compilation of top 10 CHH artists right now, and we had a criteria that we went by. We went by body of work, we went by substance, impact, skills, and creativity. So yet again, body of work, substance, skills, creativity, and impact. That's what we went by for this criteria, and unfortunately, some hearts were broken. I eventually bowed down in some of these arguments, but it is what it is. So let's get into it, guys. We got the list. I'm gonna throw it out there, and the panel, we're just gonna discuss it as we go. So honorable mentions, we have Aha Gazelle, J Monty, and Flame. These are our honorable mentions. You guys want to say anything about the honorable mentions?
J Monty is the best.
Out of that list, J Monty is pretty nice. Aha Gazelle is his own thing though, so that's my guy.
Safino.
Man, Flame cool too. Shout out to Flame.
Yeah, he's one of the honorary godfathers.
I felt a little slighted. He got bumped off of that number 10 spot. Flame got bumped off, but hey, it is what it is. It's the list. What could you do, Flame? Give us some more fire, Flame, so we can put you here next year or something like that. All right, so we're getting into officially the list, and this is like what do we have, MCK? Drum rolls, some firecrackers. How we doing this?
Some special effects right here.
Okay. I feel the magic.
Video magic. Yeah.
Video magic. I feel it. Okay, so getting into the list at 10. This is the official list now, based on the criteria. All personal biases aside, taking all things into consideration, we have Triple E at number 10. What you guys got to say about Triple E?
He deserves to be on the list.
Yeah, I think so. I think Trip is consistent. OG.
I missed the part where he was that low, but okay.
There's so many CHH artists, but it's hard. But I mean, we make the list, and that's the thing. You should make the list.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be argumentative, shout like he trying to make me the argument guy.
so my thing was, personally speaking, it was a real tough, it was a toss up between Flame getting the last spot or Triple E being there, and eventually Triple E edged him out. For me, I think the waiting room, kind of really put him over the top, especially in this era. We know that he has classic projects and he has a lot of skin in the game, but for me, I think that was a good project, especially in this era of time that we're in. And I think in music culture on the whole, it's almost like what have you done for me lately, sort of thing, and maybe Triple gets in off of that.
Yeah,
Mike,
I think he gets obviously with the criteria impact is heavy, and then substance. He always gives us meat, and then he just fits all of them. So he made the list, even though he might not have had he might not be the most relevant or trendy right now. Like he really has high scores on all the criteria for the list.
all right, so moving right along, we have SO. SO is at number 9. Now I got love for SO. I got my love for him. I love he got some dope tracks. I love the hooks. Particularly the hooks on this track always go mad for me. But I don't know. I was a little skeptical about SO being here. I'm not gonna lie, but
On the list,
yeah.
are you ridiculous? Are you
So deserve a spot, man. He doesn't deserve a spot. Yeah.
XO?
Yeah.
Come on now, do
So
better.
it begins.
SO is heavy theologically, Not many people like to read the word, let alone hear the word all the time, straight through in music. So,
But at the
I
same
gotta.
time, criteria, body of work,
Yeah.
substance, skill, creativity, high on the list. Honestly, to me, he a little low on this list, but this is our list. This is our official list.
Yeah.
I mean, and then off the criteria and just into some of the things I would talk about. Well, actually, it's on the criteria, my bad, but substance, like, that's one of the most substance-filled people out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. But for me, I thought like the bottom of this list was really hard, particularly because, I'm seeing a guy like Flame being left off, and so
Yeah.
it was just a lot of personal things that got in there. But like as you guys said, when we started to really break down the criteria, then that's where those things prevailed, and ESO is quite deserving of being on this list, for sure. And moving right along, we got Barakah at number 8. Barakah number 8 on the official list. The poetic guy.
Legitimate. Absolutely
I
legitimate.
work for
Yeah.
now.
I love Show. Yeah.
Do you guys feel that I know we talked about I know Barakah has a decent body of work. We know that he has substance. We know that he has skills and creativity. But as far as impact, I know that Barakah hasn't, at least I feel, hasn't been doing a lot lately. How he used to. Particularly, I know when he was at Reach, I think that the content was more, but I think post Reach, I think that the content was better, believe it or not.
Wow.
In your opinion, how y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I thought you was tripping when you said his content was more outreach, but when you broke it down and said his content's been better since leaving, yeah, I could vibe with that, definitely.
Yeah, man. I think his last few projects, they have
Talented 10.
yeah, and they like
serious
they heavily spiritual, but also like contemporary at the same time too.
Yeah. We just had.
Political themes and stuff like that too. So, I mean, I think his impact is significant.
What are your favorite project from Barakah?
Phew.
I think I like the Talented 10.
Yeah, that was
Talented 10. And what his last one was called again?
some of the collective.
No, I think that was a group.
Oh.
You put us on the spot there.
Oh.
But yeah, show is a guy, definitely. I feel like whenever you listen to Barakah, you get like in a different zone, man. He just brings a different vibe to music. He isn't. I don't think like he is a rapper. He's definitely someone who's a thought leader. Just in the whole CHH genre on the whole. So definitely, show. I think he's carved his own lane over the years, and he definitely deserves to be here. All right, next up,
Before you move on, just because I had Show Barakah, I think in my top three. But I think one thing needs to be said about him, especially with those two albums we call off The Narrative, which was the name of the last one, and Talented
Right.
10. That whole mindset of moving into more mature Christian music. I feel like he did that. He might not have been as elevated as other artists, but he probably did it the best, in my opinion. Handling some of the same issues. He handled the race issues. He handled the race relations. He had a song about fatherhood. I thought was pretty dope. So he did some heavy stuff in them last two albums.
Yeah, most definitely. One thing about Show Barakah's, I love the fact that he is an intelligent dude, and it comes all the time in his music. He's not just like, and I mean that's the MO of everybody. Lifting up the name of Jesus, but he's shining light on social ills, and he's really taking his own lane. And it's almost like nobody dictates to him. The culture doesn't dictate to him, the trend doesn't dictate to him. He's doing what it is that
he pulled out
he needs
the
to
Christian bookstore.
Sorry?
They pulled his album from one of the Christian bookstores.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds about right.
Whoa, MTK.
I thought my quotation mark was gone.
Hey,
Let's move on to numbers.
We have at number 7, we have Sean Burgundy. My guy, Sean Burgundy. Listen, I think I'm gonna tell you, if we had to do this list again in 5 years, I am certain that Sean would be top 3.
And 5 years?
Yeah, maybe 3.
Yeah. Top 3. I mean, but once again, going back to the criteria, he fits everything perfectly. The guy's got substance. Well, maybe body of work is questionable.
Yeah.
Maybe impact is questionable to a certain degree.
It's also questionable.
But like he leans so heavily on the other criteria, you have to kind of rate him high. If you don't rate him high, I mean, you need to go before the Lord. But that's just my opinion.
The thing about Sean is, I don't know personally. Even as I look up and down this list, I think that Sean for me is the best. Like bar for bar. If you're going punchline for punchline, if you're going line for line, meaning for meaning in terms of the actual lyrics that he's spitting, I don't know if anybody could stand up to him in that particular category. I'm not talking about putting together the whole song. I'm not talking about putting together a whole album, making it long, but just lyric for lyric. Sean, I think he holds it down, man.
I love Sean. I'm sure he had a much higher list on my list, but you might be asking for too much now. There's some names on this list. There's some names that we done passed. Jay Monty and Aha. But
true.
Outside of that category, like I said, I think I said this in the first one, Jess hit what vibes with me to Sean, and why, I didn't really listen to him before, but the last few stuff he put out hit me in a way because it was a dude who I feel has been very matured in his faith. Like he's had some convictions. He has some serious convictions. He has some serious, you can tell he's been going over scripture. He's been thinking about things. He's been thinking about the way the world is today and what's wrong with it and how it's different from the way the Bible tells us. He just has some serious. He has like almost like a Job type rap album to me, in my opinion. Like a very lamentatical, if that's the right way to say that. But a very like a crying prophet's heart type type body of work, in my opinion. That's why I really enjoy his stuff.
Yeah.
Word for the day, lamentatical. Please use that.
If that's a word.
If it's a word.
Moving right along, we have Bizzle at number 6. Bizzle is You know,
There,
Bizzle is definitely
there's another
dealing
punchline there.
auto money. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely that guy, man. I love the way. I think I just love Bizzle's persona, man, and
Yeah.
it's true firing on everything that he does. You know, it's like he's just that guy. It's like he's a rapper, whereas he'll come for you. You know, he'll go at your throat as a rapper.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he's such a genuine dude, and you can see, you know, he's such a just a blessing to the people who's around him, and just a blessing to the ministry and the whole CHH culture and the whole. But Bizzle looks like a dude who would eat you in a rap battle if he had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got that thing about him. Yeah,
Yeah. He's
Anything he brought. Go ahead.
in his younger days, he was very confrontational. Y'all heard about the Jay-Z response and how he did that, and then
yeah.
That's how he got famous.
exactly, and then he did a response in terms of the shooting in Sandy. I forgot what that
Okay.
place name. Yeah.
Sandy.
So he's not afraid. Yeah.
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 I think what Bizzle did in terms of for CHH, I think he brought in, he made it, he showed how the landscape of CHH is basically the same as like the mainstream rap, because he brought in a whole West Coast sound, and that was West Coast flair, and it was different, but it was snapping. Like damn,
Yeah,
Ray Dr. Dre
that.
and came in.
Yeah.
One of the things I would say about Bizzle that I could appreciate with him, maybe like the last 3 years, was the fact that Bizzle was always a good rapper, but I think like the last 3 years and maybe over his last two projects, I felt that his music has gotten better, right? So I don't know if maybe he's working with a different production team. You know, I don't know if you know, they got some. I think something changed because his raps was always good. Like
Yes.
he was always fire. But now if you listen to, you know, his hooks,
Yes.
the way that his songs are laid out, you know, how he's getting across is almost like the delivery isn't as aggressive anymore, but it still has that. It still has like that pop to it, you know.
Yes.
So I could definitely appreciate that growth.
Yeah, oh, I forgot the term, but he has now he's financially stable now. His record label is very successful. His apparel is very successful, so he could like he don't have to penny pinch, he don't have to hustle per se. Things are just like aligned, and he could just hire who he needs to hire and then produce what he needs to produce. And plus, his artists are now producing a lot too. There's this young lady named AI the Anomaly. She could spit. Y'all need to hear this young lady. She just released like 2 projects. Then there's Sela the Corner. Then there's Dayton. Come on.
Yeah.
Then there's Bumps and he on retirement, but I hear something coming from him. So he have all these heavy hitters.
Then you go back, you remember people like Flo.
Yes. Flo. That he's a Lano, a Dan, a Dan or something.
Yeah, and Flo is nice.
Yeah, Flo changes.
Flores.
Yeah.
And then you have, I forgot my dude's name, and I'm embarrassed about that because he was on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions. Yeah, I can't remember. So
GS. Shout out to GS.
No, GS is that guy. That's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
GS nice.
For sure. So, you know, Bizzle definitely deserves to be here. You know, and I think if Bizzle's label continue to grow just like the Impact, I believe that as a leader or as a front runner, you know, in a label or a certain group of music, I believe that as a rapper or as an artist, that kind of counts towards your impact as well. And we've seen that happen big time with lecrae. So, you know, we'll watch and see over the next few years how that plays out with Bizzle. But moving right along, we have this guy was number 1 on MCK's list, but he definitely a dope guy. This is where the real debate started. The top 5 special effects again. Put it in there.
Explosions.
We got Kriston Gray. Kriston Gray.
Now y'all know.
5.
Y'all know. Way too low on the list. But proceed. Proceed.
Kriston Gray. I think on this list, as far as talent, I think that we can't even argue that he is probably one of the most or the most talented, from a musical standpoint. I think we agree to that. School of Roses. I think if we was to go and do a list of top 10 CHH albums of all time, I'm pretty sure that's top 3.
Careful.
Bro, tricky for real.
You don't think
Be careful, boy. Be careful, son.
Please enlighten Zion.
For me personally, School of Roses is way up there as a project. I can't think
As
of
a project.
as a body of work.
Period.
Yeah, as a project.
Don't put the CHH label on there, because that boy, CHH Roses.
Love the beat.
Ain't from there.
What you mean? You gotta now you getting into the definition.
Exactly. I just say be careful. I agree with y'all. School of Roses is one of the best albums. Period. In any just period.
genre.
But it does belong to the CHH subgenre, and therefore it is one of the best CHH projects out ever. Definitely in the last modern times is one of the better projects. He got the part 2 coming out, and I can't wait.
Yeah, that's gonna be fire.
Yeah, and the lead single is amazing. Guys, go check that out.
As a matter of
We have
fact,
some good music right up and down, There's some good music from some of the people on our list coming out now. Our list gonna have to stand because there's an onslaught of music coming out.
And that's a beautiful thing. Thing. Yeah.
Definitely. So we know that Kriston does his thing. He could spit, he could really hold a tune. He could sing for real. Yeah. He could. It's not like that great sing. Yeah, he could sing.
Sign.
We all think he's more of a singer who could rap or a rapper who could sing.
That's the thing about the guy.
I understand that question.
He can rap so good, but he can sing so good. It's like you can't really. And I think even to obviously I'm a rapper, so I have a appreciation for the way he's doing it. Like he have decoded things, you have to decode and stuff like that in there. Like he really a high level lyricist.
Yeah.
But it no.
I've never seen an artist, CHH or secular, however you want to put it. I've never seen an artist who could sing that well and also spit that well simultaneously. I've never seen it across any genre, and I definitely respect him for that. I don't know.
He definitely killed Drake in both. So tell all his fans get out and meet him. Set up that versus.
My lord.
Get him on Twitter.
Drake could really rap now. Drake could really rap too.
Yeah, Drake could really rap.
He can really rap.
But he can't.
Kriston Gray, he's breaking the top 5, and now we're getting in to 4, 3, 2, 1. And at 4, this is where some more of the debate happened between 4 and 3. But at 4, we have Andy Minion, formerly known as T-Light.
Throw what in my head.
I can throw this right in your face. You want to switch them names, son?
What names? Number 4 and number 3?
What? Number 5 and number 4.
If I want to switch up?
Yeah.
We can't switch the name at this point.
3 to number 5.
Ooh.
Wow.
But let's go on.
I agree.
So Andy, listen. If we're going off of all the criteria, I think that Andy checks every box body of work, substance, impact, skills, creativity. He checks every box, and personally speaking, I think Andy is a toss. He could be 3 one day, he could be 2 one day, he could be the GOAT one day. Some days he could be up and down, depending on which your mood or your taste, or how you vibe with his projects. But definitely, I think that Andy over the long haul, over this period of time, I think that when it's all said and done, Andy is just a great artist. Period. Even without the CHH label.
Yes.
And Andy is a guy, like, he could really spit mad creative, and I think that he is justly due to be at this point in time one of the top artists in CHH.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to me, he is that guy. Like, to me, right now there's a lot of talk about KB, and obviously lecrae is lecrae, but to me, Andy is that guy, most consistent. If you're talking about going at Drake, he's to me the guy I would pick. Like, if we had to do a versus and vote for someone to represent CHH versus Drake, it's gonna be Andy for me. Like I said, Christian will rap, but Andy could do what Drake doing now. You know what I mean? So
right, because Andy could hardly sing, but he could rap good. Same thing with Drake.
Right,
yeah.
He could give you vibes. Yeah.
And I said he do both, as in sing and rap better than Drake, in my opinion. And I'm talking about Chris Thorne. That was my opinion.
No. Yeah. I talk about that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
I'm not mad with.
Definitely. So Andy Minio is at number 4. I don't think you could even argue anything about him. He has made a strong case, and he could go up or down, and it's really based on preference when it comes to him. But I think that he gives you so much that even if you don't like one thing or one project or one song, you skip to the next and you're like, this dude is really dope.
So like, you telling me there's people out there who don't like Andy Minio?
I'm not telling you that, but I'm just saying that
You didn't like one of his works?
One is what?
You didn't like one of his works?
Like what? What was that?
You told me you didn't like Heroes for Sale, bro.
Heroes for Sale is not my favorite. Andy, listen, don't listen to these guys. Alright? I mean, let's go on minor league, alright? Listen.
My Lord.
Not listen to these people, alright? Heroes for Sale isn't my favorite. I'm sure it's not your favorite either, Andy. But
no, but my favorite is
wow.
That mixtape was just amazing, bro.
I mean, the guy is just good.
He's even a cool person.
To me, it's like,
you met him?
Who really out there?
No, I mean, like, if you follow him on social media, he like shows himself,
Like playing domino together.
So dope.
Like the concept that someone don't like Andy and CHH is weird to me.
Yeah.
Haters.
Yep, that's true. Now here's where we spent the majority of the time going back and forth based on the criteria. Once again, body of work, substance, impact, skills, and creativity. At number 3, and I know this is where a lot of people are going to sign off of this video. At number 3, we got lecrae at number 3. I know it's tough because some people see him as the godfather of CHH. He has definitely earned that status. Our body of work is definitely huge. Impact is maybe the biggest on this list for sure, without question, without doubt. Skills and creativity, I think that those two maybe is what kind of has him at 3. But as far as body of work, impact, and then sometimes lecrae, I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I feel like the substance comes and goes. Sometimes I think lecrae is just rapping just to rap, and then sometimes I feel like he's rapping and really putting like that real thought and it doesn't have anything to do with the Reach Records thing and how people perceive them, but I mean in terms of actual thoughtful provoking content, sometimes you just don't get that, but nonetheless, not taking anything away from him, Lecrae has been that dude for a very long time, and on most people's list, he might just be number one.
Yeah, I think we gotta give lecrae his flowers because I mean, to hold that position for as long as he held it, to bring other artists up and to like contribute to the culture in that way.
Yeah.
I feel I have all respect for lecrae. No matter what your opinions are about his, particular um, approach, like he's really someone you have to honor and give your roses to because the dude held it down for a long time. Um, yeah, I mean, the grade definitely more than deserve a spot in the top five. Um, I might have put him at five, but I have a lot of respect for the grade. A lot of respect.
Yeah.
I don't have Lecrae in my top five, but I give him his respect. He's like a LeBron type of person. He has the reason why certain people don't like him is for the same reasons why certain people don't like LeBron. He doesn't do more of what they would prefer him to do more of, and so they downgrade him. But you cannot take away the fact that if you want him to do that, he could do that and make hits. If you want him to do that other thing, he could do that and make hits. And he's consistent across the board. So that's why I put Lecrae. Lecrae is dope. And this project he have coming out right now,
I've heard so many testimonies on that. It's really.
I mean, for me, sorry, but I've heard a few of the stuff too. A lot of it is very much a commercial attempt at something for me, in my opinion. But there are songs on there where it's like, yeah, this is why we like Lecrae. I think it really
reminds us.
there
over
you
something.
go. That's my LeBron analogy.
Right.
He doesn't do enough of that thing that you want him to do. So
Yeah. So go check out Restoration too. Restoration out now.
Yeah.
I know that it's been a lot of talk and a lot of hype, around Lecrae's new music, and like what MCK says, man. Whatever you want to say about Lecrae, you have to give it to him, no matter who you are, no matter where you're at in the genre, whether you're just coming along and listening, or maybe you've been around for a minute. Lecrae has been that dude. Like he is. Xavier has the perfect analogy. He is the LeBron of CHH. He's been around long, and he's been around effectively, really long. So number two, this is why I went down kicking and screaming. This is where I almost shed a tear, but I was made to understand after much research. My personal bias is at the bow. At number two, we have KB. K to the second letter. I'm gonna let y'all talk because I don't want to turn this.
That's how you want me dog.
Call it FTK.
The people tried to crucify me, right? I mean, I know they said be Christ like, but gee, they tried to crucify me for saying KB was slightly overrated, and yet we have him number two on the list, right? Which to me, he should be like 6 on this list.
Let somebody hear that.
KB nice. Don't get me wrong. Let me clarify. KB is nice. The guy has skill. I bump his music. I ride with KB. But there are guys on this list, to me, in my personal opinion, that just outweigh him on the criteria. Do even like body of work, substance. Well, he's good at substance. I give him that.
The only thing you have on the list, dog, is body of work, bro.
I mean, even that
You're trying to get us kicked off, yeah.
Even out there, but to me, it's just like it's almost like one trick pony type of thing with the fast rapping. That's my thing with them. Like for a long time,
You don't listen to enough KB.
maybe I'll give you. Maybe that's a point. But I listen to enough of them to know that 2 is a little high on my list. Go ahead.
I mean, well, when we look at that criteria, the only thing I think he could lose points on is body of work. But then even that might be questionable because he's been putting in some work. aside from that creativity and stuff. And I was one of those people back in the day who used to say this dude was a little overrated. And, you know, he grew on me, and then to the point where, like I said, that the album where he did the new portrait, that was beautiful. The album, the same, that same album, a song called "Bring You War." He talk about some serious songs, bro, and lyrically, artistry, musically, like everything, he have it all. So I don't feel like he's too high on this list. I feel like, you know, maybe you do have a case in some of those names, but I think I think KB holds a good claim right now, talking right now as in the top three, period, somewhere in the top three.
I like him at 5 and 6, but I feel you.
I think he represents the excited or the lively Christians, the millennials who are excited about God, who wants to hear more God in their music. He's very passionate. If you watch KB preach, if you watch how he's goofy, he's a nice balance of a person, and he lets that out in his music. But I agree with MCK. He does rap fast a lot, but I love that because I just love his passion for God. When I hear him rap fast and break things down in his rapping, I'd be like, I can hear your heart, brother. That's what it does for me.
Yeah.
I think KB
he champions the CHH trope or whatever y'all want to say. And as far as I'm concerned, he can do that whole sound, a more commercial sound, and still hit you with content, in my opinion. So I gotta respect him for that.
And to me, I feel like that's my number one thing with KB. That's why he was number one on my list. I feel that if we are talking about CHH, right? Yeah. We're still talking about music, creativity, and skills and whatnot. I think that KB is the perfect balance, you know, on a rapper who, you know, put in, like he said, price all of my content. Like, I think he's the perfect balance of, you know, getting the word out there through music, but you're not sacrificing sound. You're not sacrificing quality. You're not sacrificing anything when you listen to KB. You know, and KB is not just a good studio rapper. He's not just a good album rapper. KB is someone who could really get out there, and because of his spirit, him being so free and just how he flows and how he vibes, he could really rock a show as well too. You know, that's something that we didn't even take in consideration on this list. But you know, when you talk about someone actually moving a crowd in this genre, I don't think much people do it as good or better than KB, and I think that that's one of the reasons. You know, I would even give him some extra points, but you know, I get the whole thing, like what MCK is saying, but unlike Lecrae, I think that he is more preferential in the genre at the time, right? I think Lecrae is making a stronger case on his way back because he's at reach now. But I think at this current time, he has a stronger case in the genre because more people are wanting, like, that. Everybody wants to listen to great music, of course, but more people are kind of wanting, you know, some price content, and then sometimes they feel with other artists it drops off. But KB is the only person I've seen never really dropped off with the content. Still giving you great music, and I think that's why, you know, he probably go 1, 2. I don't really want to go as low as 3, but 1, 2, or 3 when he gave.
Yeah. Listen, y'all enjoy your KB. I like KB too, but let's go on to number 1.
Number 1. This is where the fight came in. I'm not even going to fix it because I was overwhelmed. I was overpowered. I was taken to the back of an alley and beaten.
Probably you need to report that. You're talking about the same thing.
Listen, at the conclusion of this, I must admit, I went home and I did my research. Xavier brought the history book, and I had to go back and look. This is my dude. You know, I like him I didn't know if he should have been the GOAT or this high on number one, but
You
I
say gold now. Hold on.
if we're going by this criteria at this current time, you can't give it to no one else but Swoop at number one. Special effects.
Swoop, there it is. I gotta find this little tag and put that in there. Swoop, there it is. Yeah, but Swoop, man, Swoop nice, bro. Like really, like debate me. Like someone debate me, like y'all debate me.
Yeah.
I would come to me for KB. Debate me with Swoop. I just could drop a Swoop link under your comment. I promise you that's all.
So new ref.
Listen, I am not debating. We had to debate. Now, in case y'all don't know, we actually did not just come on these shows and record. We had a lot of Zoom meetings. Before we pressed record, and we had about 30 minutes going back and forth. And even though I was a Swoop fan, I like Swoop. I listen to his music. I was thoroughly educated on Swoop. All right, Swoop.
Wait, I'm gonna put it like this, bro. You take all these dudes on this list, take out Chris Thorne, and combine them into one person, like Captain Planet, and you get Swoop. In my opinion. He could sing. That would be
it for two. That'll be it.
Over, son.
That's why I wanted to make sure to divide up the gifts. Yeah.
But content, creativity, ability to change it up with lyrics, punchlines. Come on, man. So just bring it home, son.
I feel like he got like a second win now. Like some of the features he's doing with your favorite KB. Like he have like 2 songs with KB, and that man like he really holding his own. Really he producing for other artists again. Like I feel like he getting that second one. I feel like the next project, whatever he's working on, is going to be a monster. And I feel like he finally starting to get his flowers as well, because he's number one on our list, but in a lot of ways he's an underrated CHH artist. I think a lot of other artists respect him. He's like one of those type of artists who like other artists know. But like he's starting to get that respect.
And there you have it. This is the list. We're just gonna go back over it one more time for everybody. This is the official list. This is the most legit list on the internet right now.
Stop.
This is the CHH list in existence as of to date. All right, and if you find a better list, we will debate them, and we will set to fact check all of these other lists. Okay, so on honorable mentions, we had Aha, Gazelle, J Monty, Flame, and then going from 10 straight up, we had Tripoli at 10, Esso at 9, Show Barakah at 8, Eshawn Burgundy at 7, Bizzle at 6, Tristan Gray at 5, Andy Minio at 4, Lecrae at 3, KB at 2, Mini Goat, Swoop at 1, Big Goat.
Mini Goat. Wow.
There you have it, everybody. That is the list. Hopefully next year, my music is as good and I'll make it on the list. But until then, I would stick to my few Spotify streams.
we gotta do the local CHH list. So y'all get really crucified.
Come on, listen here. Y'all be nice.
That's a different episode, by the way.
What's a different episode?
It could be like 2 month series.
That could be a lot. That one could be fun. We look forward to that.
Yeah.
Definitely. So this is the breakdown signing out. Please remember in the comments, this is a Christian show, so if you want to cuss, you could inbox MCK directly.
No, what's up? Hit me up on the WhatsApp.
Wow.
Hit me up on WhatsApp.
The punchline is you don't have a WhatsApp.
Right.
No, hit me up on WhatsApp. That's what you get. The quickest way.
So on the next one, I'm signing out. Young Rev, MCK, Christina Noel, and James Avery. Signing out.
It's my last show. Now come here.
I knew it was coming.
Wait. Is it called my agent, man?